Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another YouTube video. My name is Coach Nick, head coach at 5280 Training, and I help career-driven women lose 20 plus pounds with reverse dieting and macros. Today's video is going to be one of my favorites. This is going to be on good foods versus bad foods. Is there any merit to this? So, I'm also going to take you into two videos that is literally going to speak volumes. Okay. So first things first is I'm going to play these videos for you, and then I'm going to go through the lesson. So first thing is going to be Paul Saladino. He's like a biohacker, MD. And so he made this video. Just please watch this. It won't be too long.
Contains ingredients that are banned in Europe, and they're actually illegal in the United States. Fast food companies have figured out a way to get around these. This mac and cheese contains 67 ingredients. And of those 67 ingredients, it includes hydrogenated soybean oil. Okay,
so I'm going to just stop it there. Okay, and then this is an account that I want you to follow, not Paul. Okay, don't follow Paul. This is Dr. Ids, and he actually debunks all of these biohackers with human controlled trials, with actual science, because a lot of these guys, and as I talk about in my lesson, it's fear mongering. They're basically selling out, okay, and it's just for views and clicks, and it's just fear mongering. So watch this video really quick.
That are banned in Europe, and they're actually illegal in the United States. Fast food companies have figured out a way to get around these. This mac and cheese contains 67
So
ingredients.
I can't fast forward, so we have to rewatch this video.
Hydrogenated soybean oil.
I'm sorry.
Essentially a highly inflammatory oxidized
But keep watching.
trans fat that's banned in the United States. Fast food manufacturers like Chick-fil-A have figured out they can get around this by putting it into this as a margarine blend.
This one from Paul is so simple to debunk it's not even fun anymore. Times cool. This hydrogenated soybean oil is not a trans fat. What this is mostly saturated fat. While still should be consumed in moderation, is the type of fat Paul advocates for. So he's inadvertently calling the fat he tells you to eat toxic. The type of fat that does produce trans fats are partially hydrogenated oils. During partial hydrogenation, some but not all of the double bonds in the oil are converted into single bonds using hydrogen gas. And as a byproduct, you get the formation of trans fats, which are the most harmful type.
Keep watching.
Evidence shows that just a 2% increase in energy intake from trans fats leads to a 23% increased risk of heart disease. And that's why they're banned in the USA. The irony is, in the UK where I'm from, trans fats are not banned. So that's another thing the USA has banned that many other countries haven't. I wonder why we don't see videos with the title, Ingredients that are banned in the USA but are allowed in Europe, but we see plenty of videos from American creators with the opposite title. Interesting, isn't it? But anyway, Paul has...
Keep going. Sorry.
Class is missed.
Okay, so Dr. Ids, go follow him. He does, all of his videos are really just debunking with actual science, okay? So basically, right, going back to this lesson, here's the truth. This is the actual truth. So if you come across videos that are trying to talk bad about foods and fearmonger, and then they're promoting some product, right? This industry, it preys on what people don't know. It preys on innocent people with a lack of information. So here's the truth, guys. Fear mongering is a money-making business. Okay, all over Instagram, you see these videos demonizing. I'm gonna lock my screen really quick here. Demonizing, certain ingredients, right? Like one or two. Most of it is bullshit, and they're trying to profit off of you for fear, right? Companies pay them literally to promote their products and demonize the others. This creates a trickle-down effect. Okay, this creates a trickle-down effect to the masses. Okay, when somebody who's unaware sees this video, they go spread this to their friends and spreads it to their friends, and then now someone's just not enjoying Chick-fil-A mac and cheese, which is yes, I mean calorically high, but it's not going to kill you. Okay. And obviously, at the FDA, there's so many regulations and there's so many things that you will see in Dr. Ids videos where he brings science and molecules and chemistry, where it's there's a reason why these things are allowed and it's safe. Okay. So how often, right, do you hear, so this is in terms of society, right? How often do you hear, I hear this all the time, oh, I ate this and it was bad. I was bad. I ate these bad foods. It makes me fat, blah, blah, blah. So let's get into the meat of this, right? Here's what we got to understand. Food is not moral. Morality, are good or bad, is a question of morality, morals, ethics. Food is not moral. Now, when you change your, this is a mature conversation to have. Instead of a food is good or bad, right? Let's switch this conversation at, okay, this food can be better or worse at helping me reach a certain goal. Okay. So what kind of goal really matters, right? What kind of goal matters? And what kind of foods matter with your goal? So let's say your goal is weight loss. Does that mean that eggs are bad because there's 7 grams of fat per egg and there's a lot of calories in eggs, right? No. Like, it doesn't mean that they're bad, right? Like, we all eat eggs. You're not like, no one's going to demonize eggs, right? Now, people might say to avoid eggs because they're not getting you towards your goals. They have higher fats, whatever. Good fats, nonetheless. But here's another situation like weight loss. Are donuts inherently bad? No. You can eat donuts and still lose weight. All of my clients do it. I literally push them. It's like homework. I have them go eat a donut and then they hit a new low. No, this is the question that you need to ask, okay? Is this food in this amount getting me towards my goal? Is this food in this amount getting me towards my goal? That's it. So then it becomes, that is the question. That is the question and that is the answer. That's what you have to debate. Not, hey, is this singular food, is this good or bad, right? Is this going to make me fat or not? It's this food in this amount getting me towards my goal, whatever that is. Because listen, if your goal is to gain muscle, does that mean veggies are bad? Right? Because realistically, right, you can't, like, if you just want it to be healthy, like eat only good foods, quote unquote, and I say that with sarcasm and satire, but I don't know if those are the right words to say, but like, no, veggies aren't bad, but here's the thing, you can't eat only veggies to get in your carbs when you're in a massing or a reverse diet phase or a growing phase, or you're wanting to build muscle, your glutes, because it just fills your stomach up. It's so much volume and it's harder to push a surplus or even maintenance. Like, it's really hard to push the calories you need with just veggies as carbs, even though they're quote unquote good, right? So let's talk about health, right? A lot of people are going to say, this is bad for my health and this is health this and health that, right? So this is just like a funny thing, right? Like, does that mean that grandma's banana bread is bad? Like, does that mean grandma's, like your sweet old grandma, does that mean her banana bread is bad, right? And are you going to tell grandma that, hey, I'm not going to eat this, grandma, this is bad, right? Because there's sugar, there's bananas, you don't know what's in banana bread, right? I mean, you do. I actually am not a baker, but is grandma's pasta bad, right? Once again, I can't tell you how many people think that they're bad, right, for eating pasta. And pasta is a part of my regular diet in a fat loss phase even. And many of my clients, right? No, you don't need to do that to grandma because it's just bullshit. And you're just going to make grandma feel bad because you don't know what you're saying. You don't know what your macros are. You don't know how to track, right? You just don't have control over your body and your intake. So if you want to use, right, good and bad to explain to your kids, right? This is like, let's talk about a situation here where who can we explain what's good or bad to, right? Somebody who doesn't have the knowledge to understand this in depth, right? Like our kids, for example, okay? Let's say you have kids. Trust me, kids want snacks all of the time. They don't care. They just want sugar, 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 right? Now, is it bad? Is sugar bad? No, sugar's not inherently bad, right? And so they don't understand. So yes, we can say, hey, this is bad state, like, maybe one a day, whatever. Okay. That's like good for your kids. Now, once they get older, they're going to say, why can't I have 5? Right. And thank goodness you watched Coach Nick's video, because you're going to be able to explain to them that this food in this amount probably isn't the best for you. Right. And just for the record, if you were in a weight loss diet, okay, and you had 5 Rice Krispie treats in the proper amounts, you would still lose weight. Fun fact. But this is just like a different angle of good and bad, who you can even explain this to. So, and then etc., right? There's so many other cases where that's the case. So, and here's the thing, specific foods don't even do number 2 very well, like reach your goal, right? There's no perfect food for building muscle or losing weight. And you see all these Instagram people, the perfect food for weight loss. This food got me shredded. right? And after you watch this video, you're going to be able to watch these videos with a little bit more intellect and a little bit more awareness of like, okay, this guy's just trying to get views. Maybe this is a cool recipe that'll help me hit my macros. But at the end of the day, right, like there's no specific food that does number 2 well, like perfect in terms of getting to your goal, right? So here's the thing. Their quantities and macros are often much more important than their specific names and types. Thank goodness you've watched this video because you're thinking differently than the masses now, right? We attach good or bad to these names of foods, and it's just so bullshit. It's so bullshit. You don't have to do it. And myself, my clients, Coach Britt, we're all just living examples of how this, like, of this lesson. And we preach this constantly. We literally just went live with this lesson in our community. So that's just something to understand. Does this mean cookies are good, right? Like, does it mean it's good? Once again, now 1 cookie versus 10 cookies, is there like a tier level of like, okay, if I have 10, then they're bad? No, right? It's still not a level of morality. It's just context based. It's all context dependent. Okay. The same thing. This amount of food, this food in this amount, is this getting me towards my goals? Okay. So obviously 10 cookies, probably the answer is no, right? 1 cookie, good or bad? There's just no fucking answer. It's context, right? And I hope that you can watch this and go to some of my previous videos and understand what reverse dieting is, what tracking macros are, how to do it yourself. I have a 3-phase fat loss system. You can do all of this on your own, right? But this is the most important part, and this comes down to your relationship with food as well, okay? So here's the thing. Even junk foods are okay. I had a client who literally lost 20 plus pounds eating Taco Bell only. Now, once we went into the fat loss phase, it was a little bit harder, had to switch it up, but we lost body fat in the reverse diet phase with Taco Bell, fast food, because he was super busy, right? And had to make it work like that. So as long as most of your, as long as most of your intake is healthier foods, right? Have up to, give yourself like a boundary, right? 25% of junk food. And listen, in terms of your health, most doctors won't even be able to tell, right? If you're controlling your intake, outside of this 25-30% of junk food, right? Because listen, if your food is controlled, if your macros are controlled, if you have a plan, your health takes care of itself. I work with many clients with diabetes, right? And everyone's so concerned, sugar. But it's like, if we control these things and track them, right? And monitor them, you're going to be okay. You're going to succeed still. Yes. Now, in terms of diabetes, if you are on insulin to grams, like that's a whole different topic for a different day, but we still have to be mindful and intentional with that. But understanding that it's all, that you can enjoy food, right? You can lose a lot of weight eating junk food as well. Chick-fil-A, right? Literally, my client Carly eats Chick-fil-A every single day, even in a fat loss phase, okay? It's just something that you can make happen. Obviously, when you go to Chick-fil-A, right? If you get the mac and cheese, you can track it, right? But you're probably gonna have a tough rest of your day, So it's like, okay, if you are just like craving Chick-fil-A mac and cheese and you're okay with eating less fats and carbs throughout your day, go ahead and do it. It's not going to make you fat. Like, it's not. The food itself, the name itself, the item is not going to make you fat. Now, if you had 3 things of mac and cheese, if you had two fried chicken sandwiches from Chick-fil-A, yeah, that's a little bit of a different story. That's just caloric overload. Okay. So, as long as you have like a balanced meal, right? As long as most of your intake is healthier foods, okay? Veggies, fruits, whole grains, lean meats, healthy fats, like nothing, like majority, right? Let's lean on those, okay? But enjoy your life. Like it's not that complicated. And I hope when you watch this video, your whole entire perspective will shift. And I mean, in reality, I can go and show you guys testimonials if you guys want me to. Like, if I need to prove myself, you can go to my other videos and look at the proof that I have, interviews, everything. But I want to make this lesson a little bit, to the point. So here's like the most important thing, okay? When somebody says a food is bad, Because listen, if you're doing things right, let's say you're working with me, you're reverse dieting, tracking macros. I mean, this is actually something that some of my clients have went through, where people who are unaware, people fear the unknown. They fear what they do not understand. And they also, right, get a little bit envious because people love food. And most of society, diet culture has made us fear foods that taste good, right? Anything with a name that has sugar, whatever. So like, this is something that you can do when somebody doesn't understand. If they say a food is bad, right, or try to interrogate you, or even if you just want to give somebody a little bit of advice because you watched Coach Nick's video, when they say a food is bad, you need to say, okay, bad for what? What makes this bad? Can you please explain? And also, can you provide some human control trials that actually prove that this is bad, right? No one's going to have an answer for you. And then also, just look at them. Just look at them. Just look at what they do, right? And here's a little bit of nuance. And this is where it also becomes very confusing for people, because we have people who are in shape and are lean who still fearmonger and make food a moral question, which once again really messes with people's heads. So try to try to stay away from that content as much as you can, those people, because listen, like, there's a reason why you try to be perfect and you try to avoid quote unquote bad foods, and then you always end up going back to them. You do the yo-yo dieting, you do the intermittent fasting. These are all just like basically putting a band-aid on the actual solution problem, right? And this is the thing, like, trust me, like, it's like an actual 95% of America does not know, and they think foods are bad and good. So my mom, right, she has friends, a lot of them, women. I have a lot of women clients. I work with women only, right? So when we have our first initial call, when I first talk to them, right, they'll go through what they eat. And listen, most people, like, even just in society, they'll come up to me just unwarranted because, like, I look like I work out, whatever, and they'll talk about their diet. Sometimes people just insert themselves, and I'm all for it. I love to listen and give them some insight. But they'll bring up their diet and be like, man, I messed up on my diet the other day. I had some pasta, and I'm just like, what's wrong with pasta? Like, why is that bad? Like, do you track your intake? Do you track your macros? And they're just like, no. And it's like, okay, then it's like that's the problem there. It's not the pasta. It's not the food you're eating that's bad. That is not bad. What is bad, and it's not bad, but what is hard for you to even have any idea of where to go is if you're not tracking your intake. What you track, you improve. Literally, what you track, you improve in any aspect of your life. It doesn't even have to be this. Weight loss, muscle, anything that you freaking do, right? So, I mean, an analogy, for example, right? That's why there's statistics with every single sport. They literally, players have to build off of what is tracked so they can get better. It's just a good analogy there. So, silver lining, right? Bad foods taste really fucking good. Like, bad foods taste good. That's a benefit of bad foods. They're really good at, okay, listen, bad foods, I forget to put quotes on them, quote unquote bad foods, what society thinks are bad foods, right? They taste really freaking good. Just because something tastes good does not mean that it's gonna make you fat. Okay? There's nothing bad about eating tasty food in the context of a balanced diet. Okay? Women, ladies, understand that there's nothing bad about eating tasty food in the context of a balanced diet, right? And this is like the final point, and I do have a little anecdote here, but demonizing foods without specificity is absolute insanity, and it just does not make sense. It's actual, like, the blind leading the blind. That is a great analogy as well. The blind leading the blind, right? So, and there is that one situation where it's like the people with vision leading the blind, where you have these fit people who are just trying to get views and actually are not providing any value, but it's just because they're lean and they have a good physique. So they can basically, like, people without that, right? It's easy to follow them. But, like, start to avoid the masses and start thinking on your own. Like, honestly, why is this bad? right? And here's the thing. I want to give you one last piece. And this is like something Layne Norton talked about. Layne Norton is a very valuable resource in terms of debunking stupid myths. Less than 1% of people who see, like, okay, so let me backtrack. Like Paul Saladino, right? He might post a human control study, like, and inside of it will actually debunk what he's even saying, like the actual studies. Some of these people are posting studies that literally refute what they are saying, but less than 1% of people actually go and read the abstract of a study. That is insane. Layne Norton posted, he talked about that, and that actually blew my mind because, listen, I'm guilty of that too. Good thing I know what I know, because I was once in the same position as you where I thought foods were good or bad, right? I didn't eat cakes. I avoided anything with sugar, all of that. Okay. So demonizing foods without specificity and actual, like if there's somebody who posts a study, read it, right? And then follow Dr. Ids, follow Layne Norton. They literally debunk with actual science. It's amazing. So last thing here, and this is just a perfect example. So my daughter's nanny was absolutely shocked that in my pantry, I had a massive box of Pop-Tarts, okay? Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Rice Krispie Treats, right? In my pantry. Okay. Now you guys might say you're fit, you have good genetics. And if you followed along with my journey, there's a reason why, I do what I do, right? I was an overweight kid. There's a reason why I work with women as well, because, you know, most men grow up skinny, right? Having a tough time putting on muscle. I never did that. I grew up, with really bad insecurity. I was the fat friend, always called names, and also spending hours in my closet. Like as I grew older, right? Going out, spent hours in my closet, wanting to just feel confident in my own skin. I struggled with diet culture for so long. I used to eat nothing but protein, chicken, right? I did the whole chicken. I only did, like, I avoided protein powder. Like I did intermittent fasting and keto. I would track my blood sugars to see if I was actually fasting. I did all of this, and I did not, like, I'm actually really quick. I'm going to go into what, like, kind of what I used to look like in this. And I know we're going to go to, I'm going to go here, right? I have a video, this whole video explaining this, but I just want to show you, and I know this is a longer, I'm trying to make this video a little bit less short, but just a little bit about your boy is like, I was not always a fit dude, right? Like this is a transformation. Like this is, I grew up just chubby, skinny, fat, not how I wanted to look. Like I used to swim with the shirt on, until I was like literally in high school. And this is me and my grandma just, like, look at that. Look at this little, like this was a kid who got made, and this was actually when I was dieting, like, and very bad diet culture in this photo here. Like I was not eating anything, and I got really skinny actually, my sophomore year after this, because like I was sick and tired of being made fun of and getting called fat. So, yeah, guys, like I was where you're at. And like, the reason why I go into that last part is because so many people think like, oh, some people just have the genetics where they can eat anything and lose weight. No, like this is because I've tracked my macros for 4 years, reverse dieted, and I've built a really good metabolism. I've primed my metabolism. So yeah, now like I have a lot more leeway with the foods that I eat because I have been tracking and I have control over my intake and I have control over my body now. I've built muscle mass, right? Just from tracking my macros. That's literally it. I don't train, like there's no crazy, I mean, yes, like we have optimized training and we actually implement that within 5280 training, our program, but without a proper nutrition and the actual proper macros and reverse dieting, and like you're just, it's not going to happen for you, right? And I don't say that, I hope you don't take offense with that, but anybody can make this happen. I was you. I was where you were at. I used to think foods were good and bad, and I followed all of the people who, like, I used to look up how to lose weight. I used to rub fat loss creams on my stomach. So, and just, yeah, it just became so unhealthy for me. I would like track my kiwis and like literally eat 2 kiwis as my dessert. It was just crazy. Like the mental state I was in, I was not okay. And I wasn't losing body fat. I was losing a lot of muscle, and I became so skinny and frail. And then I binged because I was starving myself and became overweight. It was a mess. And then I hired my coach. So, and obviously, like, if you guys know me, that's what we do now. We run an awesome program helping women lose 20 plus pounds with reverse dieting macros. And so if this is something, like, go through our content, go through my YouTube videos. My Instagram's Nick Priola Fit. If you made it to the end of this video, book a call with me, guys. If you're ready to take your journey, and like, this isn't even just for the year that we work together, this is for life. Like, every single one of my clients who has graduated, they know what they're doing. They have control back over their body. They know how to get back on track. They know how to reverse diet. They know how to fat loss phase. Okay. It's all a part of this. Like, they're a part of the 5%er, the 5% of people who have taken back control of their body, who are basically like not listening to the masses who try to fearmonger and take your money. So, yeah, I appreciate you watching this video. If you want to work with us, book a call below, and yeah, reach new heights, guys. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, subscribe. And all we do is provide value here to help you get rid of toxic diet culture and lose a lot of weight and, change your life. Okay. Peace.